equipment, the best missiles, the best of everything. The European nations know that. And we've made a deal today, and I'm going to have Mark speak about it, but we've made a deal today where we are going to be sending them weapons. So they're going to be paying for them.
This is what the Ukrainian president has been asking for and will now get. More Patriot missiles to add to the undisclosed number already in Ukraine. Considered one of the most advanced air defense systems in the US arsenal, these mobile units can destroy incoming missiles and aircraft, but at an eye-watering cost. A single Patriot battery costs over $1 billion. The deal, America supplies, NATO countries buy, then send to Ukraine.
Will these be Patriot missiles specifically, or Patriot batteries that you're planning? And
Everything.
when do you
everything? It's Patriots. It's all of them. It's a full complement with the batteries.
And when do you expect them to arrive in Ukraine, sir?
Well, we're going to have some come very soon, within days, actually.
Mark Rutte may have been ridiculed for his recent fawning approach to Trump over the president's actions in Iran. But the charm offensive, he might argue, has paid off handsomely, with Ukraine's renewed access now to US Patriots, missiles and other ammunition.
It's not that you can have a shopping list and you can order whatever you want, because the US has to make sure that the US keeps its hand on what the US needs, also to keep the whole world safe, because in the end you are the police agent of the whole world. You're the most powerful nation on earth, the most powerful military on earth. But given that, the US has decided to indeed massively supply Ukraine with what is necessary through NATO.
Always, sir. How are you, sir?
As air raid sirens...
It's so funny that first term Trump, European leaders hated this brash guy, okay? They hated the way he presented himself. They hated the optics of it. And they very actively showed their distaste for Trump's antics. But they realized that anyone who actually glazed Trump aggressively, Trump would glaze back. So now they're basically doing exactly that. They're like, oh shit, I didn't realize if we just like prostitute ourselves with Donald Trump and keep saying you're the best, you're the brightest, you're the boldest president of all time. Yeah, we hate Biden. Then he'll do whatever necessary. So then why did you call him a cuck? Because they are. What do you mean? They are cucked. There is nothing more cucked than having to sit there and be like, yeah, it was awesome when you yelled at Zelensky, Mr. President. It was actually brilliant when you just explained you got duped by Vladimir Putin 4 times. Yes, we would love to give up more of our own taxable revenue so that we can fucking purchase American weapons. What is that if not cucked?
Echoed across Kyiv this morning, images emerged of the Ukrainian president meeting Keith Kellogg, the US special envoy. More talk of weapons, more warm words.
We have often meetings with you and your team. Thanks to your team also for coming to Kyiv. Thank you so much. We are thankful to President Trump for his all messages and very strong decisions about resuming delivers for us. Decisions very positive for both countries.
It is all in stark contrast to this.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
The infamous belittling by Trump and his team of the Ukrainian president in February. But Trump's blind spot when it comes to Putin, whose defense ministry claimed today to have taken more Ukrainian territory, has turned into uncharacteristic frustration of late. Perhaps
like, this was Trump. This was Trump's additional gift of Vladimir Putin. Sure, part of this is an inevitability, given that there isn't enough manpower on the Ukrainian side. But in the process of just like potentially coming to the table for a ceasefire deal, you just shut off weapons transfers and then simultaneously undermine your proxy, which undermines you. This is the thing that Trump doesn't understand. If you undermine your proxy, you're undermining yourself. Who the fuck negotiates like that? It doesn't make any sense. It's very obvious that he genuinely thought that Vladimir Putin's praise in private correspondence, he thought was real. Like, he genuinely thought Vladimir Putin thought he was awesome and smart and strong. He's such a fucking moron. I swear to God.
Perhaps Trump sees it as a personal slight, that his attempts at forging a ceasefire have been repeatedly rebuffed.
My conversations with him are always very pleasant. I say, isn't that a very lovely conversation? And then the missiles go off that night. I go home, I tell the First Lady, I spoke to Vladimir today. We had a wonderful conversation. She said, oh, really? Another city was just hit. So it's like, look, he's... I don't want to say he's an assassin, but he's a tough guy. It's been proven over the years. He's fooled a lot of people. He fooled Bush. He fooled a lot of people. He fooled Clinton, Bush, Obama.
Not me, though. Even though I just described the process of being fooled by Vladdy Poo.
Biden, he didn't fool me.
Trump is threatening secondary tariffs of 100% on countries doing business with Russia unless a deal can be reached in 50 days. It is a significant shift in this president's approach to Russia.
I don't think this is a big mover or shaker for a lot of the Republicans. I don't even think they care about it as much as they do about Israel. I'd be shocked if they were like, well, now you're just doing what Biden was doing on Ukraine. Promises made, promises not kept. It's entirely, I would say, I would say that it's more so about like America having egg on its face. They'll just basically it undermines America's position. Some in his fan base will still go, brilliant move, Mr. President. I don't think this is a big break-off point for a lot of people. I don't think they give a shit about Ukraine one way or another. This is not as big as like Epstein.
Trump brought Attorney General Pam Bondi along last night and gave her a thumbs up as he attended the FIFA Club World Cup final, even as some of his most fervent supporters are accusing her of a cover-up.
I don't think he realizes how much she's humiliated the administration. This is a self-inflicted wound. She caused it. Again, I have nothing against Pam Bondi, but if you want to look for the villain in this story, we have found her.
Over the weekend, Trump wrote that Bondi is doing a, quote, fantastic job, and told his supporters, we're on Team MAGA, and I don't like what's happening. Some of Trump's supporters are blaming Bondi for the administration's decision not to release more information related to the investigation of Jeffrey Epstein, the accused sex trafficker who was found dead in his jail cell in an apparent suicide in 2019. Trump, like many other New York celebrities, had some association with Epstein. This video of Trump with Epstein is from 1992. When Epstein was arrested in 2019, Trump said they had previously had a falling out and had not spoken in 15 years. It was Attorney General Bondi who set expectations earlier this year that the DOJ and FBI files on Epstein would be released.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen? It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive.
I don't understand. Why do they even go this hard? Like, I don't... Like, I never thought that they would release these files. I told you that it was not going to happen because of who would be implicated. But, like, I don't get why they just, like, didn't... I don't get why they went so hard on it, where they were like, oh yeah, we're going to release it. The only thing I can think of is, like, maybe they thought genuinely that it wouldn't, like, implicate Israel too much, and then Israel came in and was like, you can't do this. You know what I mean? Maybe they thought they could just, like, get away with not showing anything. Oh, yeah, this was my favorite post. As a former Israeli prime minister, with the Mossad having reported directly to me, I say to you with 100% certainty, the accusation that Jeffrey Epstein somehow worked for Israel or the Mossad running a blackmail ring is categorically and totally false. Oh, if you say so. Yeah, now I 100% believe that he was a fucking Israeli asset, bro. Get the fuck out of here. This is like, this is even worse than when Kash Patel came out and was like, wouldn't you trust me, Joe? If I had something, I would reveal it. Yeah, nothing to see here, folks. Just former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak hanging out at Epstein's New York City apartment all masked up. Epstein's conduct, both the criminal and merely despicable, had nothing whatsoever to do with the Mossad or the state of Israel. Epstein never worked for the Mossad. This accusation is a lie being peddled by prominent online personalities such as Tucker Carlson, pretending they know things they don't. They just make things up, say it with confidence, and these lies stick because it's Israel. There's a vicious wave of slander and lies against my country and my people, and we just won't take it anymore. Yeah, Jeffrey Epstein was just like a prolific pedophile only for himself. And all of the other famous people, powerful people that were in his orbit were just there simply because they really enjoyed his company. Former Prime Minister of Israel, Ehud Barak, included. You guys don't understand. He really loved how sick the vibes were. Leaving aside Epstein's close ties to 4 Israeli prime ministers, including the current one, whom he introduced to JP Morgan execs, no one is capable of critical thought, believes anything you say. That's because you and your fellow Israeli leaders have told too many lies, stolen too much land, and cried anti-Semitism one too many times. The only time you seem to be telling the truth is when you boast about your propensity for mass murder, such as when you say, I've killed lots of Arabs in my life, and there's no problem with that. Like Epstein, you thought you could get away with your crimes indefinitely, but the people have seen enough, and their wrath will only grow. It's so funny because, like, you know, this is a big deal that is targeted the normie sphere, because you got motherfuckers like Penguinzo, also known as Moist Critical, also known as Charlie, coming out of fucking hiatus. And instead of, like, I don't know, whatever the fuck he was doing, because he's like, he hasn't really been doing a lot of like drama stuff or anything that's like related to politics at all, and has basically decided to finally fucking make a statement. One of Epstein's closest friends was former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak. A key source of Epstein's vast wealth, though mysterious, was from Les Wexner, whose primary life cause is Israel. Ghislaine Maxwell's father, the billionaire Robert Maxwell, was a Mossad agent who mysteriously died after that was reported. Though Maxwell was British, Israel gave him a state funeral when he died. But they do that to everybody, bro. Who amongst us hasn't gotten an Israeli state funeral, bro? Chill. Epstein got the red carpet treatment when visiting Israel. Epstein bankrolled major investments in Israeli tech. But fine, if Epstein had no ties to Israeli intelligence or any other intel service, which is theoretically possible, why can't Pam Bondi, the CIA, and FBI say that? I just don't get it. I don't understand. Except I do understand. I mean, do you need anything else? Do you need anything else other than someone like Naftali Bennett coming out and being like, Epstein has no ties to Israel? As soon as an Israeli person, as soon as an Israeli politician, current, former, past, present, doesn't matter. As soon as they come out and they're like, this is not the Mossad. Jeffrey Epstein was not a part of the Mossad. This is anti-Semitism. I'm like, okay, well, he's definitely Mossad then. As soon as you hit that line, I'm like, okay, now I know for sure. Because, sorry, after this many months of unlimited baby murder, when Israel says something, just know that the opposite is 100% true. If Israel said to me that it's raining outside, I would assume it's the most beautiful sunny day of all time, okay? If Israel were to say to me that the water is drinkable and you must drink it, you need it for hydration, I would never drink water ever again. All jokes aside, yeah, if there is a Israeli politician whose mouth is open and is moving and they're making sounds, know that they're fucking lying, okay? I'm sorry. They have never told the truth. Ever. They have literally never told the truth. Why the fuck would we ever believe anything that an Israeli politician, former or current, ever says, other than just the assumption that it's the exact opposite? I just saw a video titled "The Grift is Over," and I genuinely don't know how to feel. Lying is too OP. What grift? Jean-Luc Brunel, a co-conspirator of Jeffrey Epstein, was found hanged in his prison cell where the security cameras were not working. Here he is pictured on Epstein's private island wearing a hat which reads, Israel Army. What do you mean? The only thing that annoys me about this Israel stuff with respect to Jeffrey Epstein is that a lot of people like Tucker Carlson will fucking make it seem as though he was just a Mossad guy and he wasn't also a CIA guy. And even the same with like Benjamin Netanyahu. I hate that. I hate when ban that chatter. They're trying to promo scum slop tuber video. What is it? This is the video
to
that
that
chatter
point, like
was,
there'll be people.
the political grift is over. American Read Act. Wait, why? It's not SlopTuber, I don't think. I think they're talking about like how, I don't know who this YouTuber is, but they're very clearly talking about all of the right-wing like MAGA Trump. I don't know if he is a SlopTuber or not, but he's basically saying that like a lot of these A lot of these MAGA adjacent podcasters are now getting off the Trump train, which I think is correct. It is what's happening. Intriguing. Megyn Kelly claims to have sources within the government that say Epstein did not kill himself and that he did have ties to intelligence, and kind of rakes Ben Shapiro over the coals for believing the Trump administration narrative without skepticism. Let's see.
People who are making the claim that that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself, and that the most gross, and sort of extreme of the conspiracy theories, just don't even call them conspiracy theories, the most sort of, extreme version of the theory is not true. I have names of the people who are claiming that. Okay, they are all in the administration. And this is my point. If other people want to make the...
I thought you recalled mentioning in a stream that Tucker's father was the CIA. When I looked into it, I did not find anything about it. I wanted to make sure I wasn't mistaken what you said with someone else. No, Tucker Carlson's father is the CIA. What the hell? Here, Tucker Carlson, father. His name is Richard Warner Carlson. American journalist, diplomat, lobbyist, who was the director of the Voice of America from 1986 to 1991. Voice of America. Let's put that in there. Let's Google that. Voice of America. Accurate, objective news coverage from the U.S. around the world. Voice of America is an international broadcaster that by law has editorial independence from the United States government, who has funded it since 1942. Voice of America, CIA. CIA.gov. Intelligence support for the Voice of America with regards to Soviet jamming. Voice of America was established in 1942 during World War II, building on America's use of shortwave radio during the war. It initially served as anti-propaganda tool against Axis misinformation, but expanded to include other forms of content like American music programs for cultural diplomacy. During the Cold War, its operations expanded in an effort to fight communism and played a role in the decline of communism in several countries. Throughout its operations, it is aimed to broadcast uncensored information to residents under restrictive regimes, even airing behind the Iron Curtain. In response, some countries began investing in technology to jam VOA broadcast. In 2017, Russia designated VOA a foreign agent, requiring it to establish a Russian legal entity. It was blocked in Russia along with some other Western international broadcasters in 2022. It is headquartered in Washington, D.C. and overseen by the U.S. Agency for Global Media, an, in air quotes, independent agency of the U.S. government funded with congressional approval, which also oversees Radio Free Europe / Radio Liberty. Funds are appropriated annually under the budget of embassies and consulates. It is a part of the State Department, which is de facto a part of the CIA. When you see like Radio Free or Voice of America, know that it's a CIA outlet. I mean, straight up, it's not even like hidden. This is the media branch and the influence peddling operation arm of the State Department, and therefore the CIA. Tucker Carlson father. Was the United States ambassador to the Seychelles. Investigative reporting, banker, mayoral campaign, Voice of America. In the summer of 1986, U.S. President Ronald Reagan announced his intention to nominate Carlson as an associate director of the United States Information Agency to succeed Ernest Eugene Pell. Carlson became director of Voice of America, a U.S. government-funded, state-owned multimedia agency which serves as the United States federal government's official institution for non-military external broadcasting. It broadcasts 24 hours a day in nearly 50 languages to more than 130 million people around the world. That's it. He was also involved in negotiations on behalf of the U.S. government with many foreign governments, including those in China, Korea, the USSR, Germany, Georgia, Zaire, today the Democratic Republic of Congo, Lesotho, South Africa, Somalia, and Israel. In 1990, while serving as the director of Voice of America, Carlson jointly addressed the Israeli Knesset with Steve Forbes. In 1994, Carlson was an international observer at the first democratic elections in South Africa. In 1997, he was deployed by the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe to work as an international observer at the parliamentary elections in Albania. From 1992 to 1997, he was president of Intermedia, the Russian state-owned global research consulting firm, which conducts opinion surveys for government agencies in over 75 foreign countries. He was recently its chairman. Later, Carlson became an advisor of the Institute for the Study of Terrorism and Political Violence. In 2003, he became the vice chairman of the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. This is the #1 Israel dick-riding think tank, also a cutout of the CIA. Because remember, the CIA isn't all centralized at this point. The CIA has numerous different arms, many of which are academic institutions and specifically think tanks. The FDD is the number one dick rider of Israel. I mean, they literally, look, it also has been described as a pro-Israel, anti-Iran lobby due to its focus on Iran in opposition to the 2015 nuclear deal with Iran. Even the fucking Wikipedia summary will say that it is a dick rider of Israel. And if the Wikipedia summary is saying that they are often billed as a pro-Israel, anti-Iran lobby, you already fucking know, okay? In 2021, Carlson reported to be on the board of directors of Policy Impact, a lobbying firm. The firm has lobbied the United States on behalf of the Viktor Orban government in Hungary. Anyway. Let's get
those
to this.
claims that are counter to that, then they should provide evidence or at least put their names on it so we can question them about that as well. Because otherwise, we're just in the realm of pure speculation. And frankly, I just don't find.
I used to work at Voice of America. You're wrong. Okay. Okay, chatter.
Find that useful. I would love more useful information. This is why I'm angry at Pam Bondi. I think there should be all the useful information possible. But the same thing holds true for people who are making claims on the other side. Otherwise, I can claim that he was working for a cadre of space aliens who are blackmailing high-profile Americans in order to protect from a future invasion. And there's just about as much evidence for that as many of the claims that are being made on the other side.
All right, well, let's
Any
talk
claim
about that.
That is made requires evidence. Any claim that's being made requires actual evidence. And at the very least, in the absence of evidence, the credible names of the people that I can either trust or not trust, ranging from, again, the President of the United States and Vice President to the head of the FBI, the AG, and the Deputy Head of the FBI.
Well, I think it's very hard to say those people need to come out and put their names on these claims when they're working for an administration, this one and the one before, that didn't want that to come out. You're asking somebody to countermand the people they work for.
How am I supposed to falsify their claims? Now we're working in the realm of the unfalsifiable.
You're not, but you're.
Oh, wow. Ben Shapiro, once again. Ben Shapiro, once again, shockingly enough, taking a position that seemingly benefits Israel.
Look, Ben, you can't come to me and say, everybody I know says he killed himself. And then I respond saying, I actually have my own sources who say he didn't. And then you say, well, your sources are not valid because they won't put their names on it. Okay, who are your sources? Let's go down the list, and then we'll talk about why they might be saying that.
My sources are the President of the United States, the Vice President of the United States, Kash Patel, the head of the FBI, Dan Bongino, the Deputy Head of the FBI, and Pam Bondi, the Attorney General. And those aren't just my sources. They're everybody's sources because they...
Okay. What would Ben say if Merrick Garland, the FBI head under Biden, Kamala Harris, and Joseph Robinette Biden were all saying that Jeffrey Epstein actually killed himself? Please don't look at this at all. There's nothing to see here. Like, the only reason why Ben can get away with saying this is because he assumes that everyone in the audience is on board with all of these people and thinks that they are infallible. The problem here is the Epstein story